Welcome to the Idaho Business Podcast, the only Idaho podcast focused on providing profits for Idaho people. If you love our state and love small business, you are in the right place. We interview local legends, learn business, and have way too much fun doing it. You're listening to the Idaho Business Podcast with your friend, host, and all-around great guy and owner of New Clean Commercial Cleaning, Spencer Ward.
All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode. We are here with none other than Mark Holland, co-founder and chief executive officer of Ascend Staffing. This guy has had a remarkable, upbringing in this company. Once he founded this thing, he went from three offices up to 37 offices in 12 different states. He's been running it for what? I think it's 29 years or so.
Yeah, that's right. Well done.
29 years. And man, you just accomplished a lot of great things. He's also a co-founder and in Ascend HR Solutions. Ascend was listed in the number 17 in Inc. magazine and then Inc. 500 list in 2000 and included in the Utah 109 out of 10 years in a row. So it's some big things you guys have accomplished over there. And the list continues to go on for sure. So
no, keep going, serious.
I will. I'll keep going.
It's kind of funny because we just actually today found out, Spencer, that Ascend Staffing, this will be our second year in a row for the Inc. 500. So Inc. 5000 now, as it is. So yeah, we just barely found that out today, and it's kind of exciting because as we get a little bit bigger, it gets harder to keep up with that growth. And so it really says something about our team and being able to hit it for 2 years in a row. Woohoo, especially during COVID, right?
Yeah, during COVID, that says a lot about your culture too, within your company. So that's good. Well, before we get into the nitty gritty, I've got to say that we are sponsored by Lookout Credit Union. These guys are phenomenal. They reach from Burley all the way up to Idaho Falls currently. And they used to be ISU Credit Union, but they had a name change just recently. They are looking out for you and looking out for our community. And if you go in there and mention the podcast and create a new account, you're going to get a sweet little swag bag ready for the summer with your t-shirts, everything you need to be ready for the summer and have some good times. So thank you, Lookout Credit Union. Okay, Mark, 29 years plus in this business. What made you get the bug to say, you know what, staffing seems like the way to do it?
Yeah,
let's roll there.
Yeah, it was actually a very eventful year. I was running a small technology company. It was a publicly traded gig in Cache Valley, a spinoff from Utah State University, and it was a turnaround situation. So our attorney, who did all of our public stuff, still sits on our board, Rick Beard, a great guy, introduced me to my current partner, and they were going through a few challenges, another turnaround, and so I ended up coming up to Salt Lake, leaving Cache Valley, which I love. Spent a lot of time in southern Utah. My sister has a place there. We've got a cabin. We had a cabin in Bear Lake in southern Idaho. Just love that space. So you can imagine I moved from Logan, which is where all my family is from and all that, come to Salt Lake on February 2nd, 92. And I meet my wife on February 14th, 92. So I changed cities, changed companies, and then I find the love of my life. It was like, woohoo, let's go.
Nice.
So anyway, and why? I don't know. I mean, the change was exciting. The whole thought of doing something new. The company had some serious issues we needed to work through. I like that kind of stuff. And so off we went.
That's very cool. And I will mention to our listeners, this is not just like we mentioned that you guys are based in Utah, but you're in 27 other states, and you guys are throughout Idaho. So, and your other co-founder is in Eagle, Idaho.
That's correct. So, yeah, Idaho is a very important market for us, and I mentioned we spend a lot of time there. Our family is all from Idaho, and northern Utah. When we have other partners in the business, but Rod is from Declo, Idaho. You know where that is?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we used to play them in football back in the day.
Oh, did you really? I
Yeah,
wonder if he
yeah.
played Rod. He's a he's an offensive lineman at like 5'9", 5'10". So,
Yeah, that's fun.
everybody played ball, so it was fun.
Yeah,
But, deep roots in Idaho. We love the Idaho markets. And so, yeah, thank you for mentioning that. And we're very happy
yeah.
to be there, and we'll continue to grow our presence.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What's one of your favorite parts of the staffing business?
Um, I love the people that I work with. I'm excited to come into work every day. And I think probably the biggest thing is the people that I love. That the opportunity is cool too. When we talk about our purpose statement, you'll see the words opportunity, growth, mutual success. All these things are high drivers for us. And I think those that love the business kind of buy into that. If you look at the last 2 years, we mentioned the Inc. 5000. We've seen significant growth. We're up well over 50% this year, coming out of a COVID challenge, and we grew just a little bit through COVID. And so that growth and the opportunity, being able to see people change and have new experiences and new opportunities. We've taken moms coming into the workforce for the first time that are running branches and doing amazing things for us, and all kinds of wonderful success stories. So when it's all said and done, you surround yourself with people that you love, and you figure out how to grow and have experiences. It's a pretty good gig.
I like it. I like it a lot. When it comes to, we mentioned COVID, and you mentioned companies had some hard times going through it, and some, I guess many of them just struggled. How did that affect the staffing industry?
Yeah, it was really difficult. Our business dropped. We closed a few offices. We combined some offices. Our senior team took pay cuts, and we really tightened our belt. We were fortunate to get a PPP loan. And when we did that, we put it to work. So we opened up the offices, and we actually doubled our sales force during that period.
Wow.
And it was a risk, but it was a well thought out risk, and our team kind of really made the right decisions there, and that really helped catapult our growth. So rather than hunkering down, which we started to do, kind of taking a more expansive, let's see what we can do to make this work. It paid off for us.
Well, I agree. Like, in the world of COVID, what was the first thing that everyone probably cut out of their budget? Was marketing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Anything that they could cut to keep alive, they're cutting. So in reality, you guys and people that are still pushing marketing, you have more of the advantage now, because you're one of the few fish swimming in that pond. So
yeah, it made a big difference for us. And I agree exactly with what you said, Spencer. I mean, we tried not to get distracted. Maybe 65% of our work is in that essential chain. And so like our biggest client is in chicken production. And we just felt, very passionately about our engagement and success in driving these businesses and helping to keep America fed. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. And so
that's awesome.
That helped. Yeah, for sure.
Now, to the audience that are listening, and maybe they own a business, or they're a business leader, and maybe they've never thought of staffing as a source for their business. What would you tell them?
Yeah, well, I can kind of think about, like, if I think about why our clients, our most important clients, the ones that we value, the partnerships use us. Most of it is for temp to hire. In other words, they need people. And so we provide an environment where you can try before you buy. And really, it's as simple as that. So, those first 90 days, that's when the accidents happen. That's when the turnover happens, all the training and difficult issues, the paperwork, even just trying to go through the onboarding process. We make that so it's one easy, simple task. And so, whether it's 60 or 90 days and you're ready to bring them on board, that's what happens. And so generally that's it. The other piece that we do a lot of is project stuff. So we've got a client that every 2 months they have huge freight shipments come in, and so we help them move that freight. And then we have, as as you look at the cycles in our business, it tends to really start picking up now all the way through December, January, depending upon the year. Let's beat the snowfall. Let's get ready for the Christmas rush and all those kind of things, housing and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And so these peaks where people are ramping up to, that's probably the third leg of the stool, if you will, that would want to have you really think about it. So I think typically, if you kind of run the numbers and look at it, our clients find that they save money with us, they keep their employees safer, and then there's just a huge hassle-free issue. When we've got clients that need lots and lots of people, they don't want to be distracted with that recruiting piece. That's what we do. Today's world, it's interesting, Spencer, how much of the world has changed with respect to recruiting. The digital platform and being able to spread our presence that way and drive business in, get employees coming in unique and creative ways. It makes a big difference for us, and it helps our clients get the people that they need. Yeah, so
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, we've in my other company, we've used staffing at times, and it's been a godsend sometimes when things are just low and you can't find employees right off the bat. It is convenient. It's a huge convenience factor having that working in your favor. So
yeah, awesome. Yeah.
What's one of your biggest frustrations in the business?
Oh, I'll cry about this a little bit, but it's really not fair. I mean, I mentioned the supply and the demand. It's much easier to be in an environment where you need people rather than you need business.
Mm-hmm.
So we generally thrive here. The added benefits, I mean, if you see in the studies, maybe in different journals or publications about when you add up all the things that some people are getting, it's in their best interest. And I don't blame them to stay home. You get unemployment, you get a state subsidy and so on. In many cases, they're making $3 to $5, $8 more even an hour to not do anything. And why wouldn't you do that for your family? So it creates this crazy disincentive. And I think we're coming out of that. I know we are. And many of those mandates have ended. Many of those programs are ending now. And, for those that need it, that's awesome. For those of us that can get back to work, that's great too. And so I think getting through that phase and getting employees back to work is good. I don't know.
Wonder how long do you think it's going to take? Because if you drive around Utah, you drive around Idaho, you just see hiring, help wanted.
Right.
How long do you think it's going to take once everyone kind of starts bum rushing the market again to get jobs for that to normalize? Yeah,
it's a good question. Well, what happened? And I don't know if we're seeing a lot of drive in the middle management too. People are looking at other opportunities. We see a lot in the markets about people changing jobs and why are things so tight? It's crazy. We know that less people are engaged in the workforce right now. And so that's slowly starting to improve. That will help. One of my personal thoughts on this, though, baby boomers during COVID, and it's already this huge bubble of retirement, right? But with COVID, that accelerated even more. A lot of early retirements, a lot of people were just, look, this is a good time for me to get out. Well, that kind of creates this pull on middle management because we've got, this whole segment that left even faster than we thought they were going to. And so it's just kind of lifting everybody up and creating this huge strain on the workforce. And everybody's feeling it. We've got over 1,200 open positions today that we could fill if we had more people. We've never seen it. It's unprecedented. And yet, we continue to find new people and put them out to work. But yeah. So when does it end? As these mandates end, that will help a lot. Right now, we've got this that we have every time this year, a bunch of college kids out working. That will help. It's going to get sticky again come college starts again, and we'll see this tightening again. And so I don't know when we're dead, maybe it'll end.
It's true. I was thinking, because once everyone gets kind of back to normal business wise, it'd be interesting to see. And I didn't even think about the baby boomer aspect of it, but that's a valid point there. So there's going to be a major opportunities, especially for college grads or people that are just coming into the workforce. There's some great opportunities for people. So
perhaps as good as it's been in decades. Truly,
Mhm.
yeah, it's very employee friendly. Lots of opportunities.
I like that.
Yeah, you also
Well, it's
see, and
good.
I'm sure you've experienced it too, but pay scales, minimum wage, which, 3 years ago, we would have considered that. There's no value in it. And
Mhm.
we've seen even today, we do a morning huddle for about 5 minutes, and we talk about what's your good news, what's the one thing you want to get done today, and what's your daily number. We're constantly hearing things like, one of our biggest clients went from $11 to $14 an hour. We just went from $14 to $18 an hour. This is unprecedented. We've never seen times like this with the wage increases, and so it's another great thing for our employees. And yeah, so
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it's good and bad, and it's mostly good though. We're going to work through it. I say we like to cry about it, but in the end, I think we'll all figure it out and come out on top.
Yeah, I think so too. I like that positive approach to it too, because there's too many people gloom and doom in this world, and I always say stay away from those negative Nancy's, because they're nothing but trouble. So, and I
I
mean
agree
that
with
as
that.
negative Nancy's as men and women. I'm not just talking about the ladies out there. So
Sure,
men
for
are
sure.
just as bad. So
If you think about that, and Spencer, one of my key tenets of life is, to your point, we surround ourselves with people that are negative and naysayers. And one day we look around the table, and all of our friends and the people that we love and care about, our business associates, are all kind of that negative type of person. The same with integrity. We do the right thing, and we are, in my mind, at least for me, an important value is family. If we exude these values and we look around one day, then everybody around the table, generally speaking, shares similar values, and it just makes kind of goes back to our first point. Why do we love our job? It's the people you love, and you do the right thing, and it all works out. And if you don't, you end up with trouble.
Yep, I totally agree. Totally agree on that. Well, let's get down to the lightning round here. And the lightning round is sponsored by Sensations. These guys are a day spa. They provide your tanning services, your tanning bed, your spray tans, your mani-pedis, your massages, everything you need to be comfortable and to look good. They have offices in Pocatello and in Twin Falls, Idaho. So go over there, mention that you heard about them on the podcast. We'll be getting some promotion from them soon to offer our audience, but go give them a buzz. All right. What is one of your favorite books or tools or software that you've used that just kind of been your game changer lately?
Oh, books or tools. I mean, some of the old classics that have helped build our business on, Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Successful People, Good to Great. Trying to think right now, I'm on this happiness kick. So I've read 9 or 10 books on happiness, and those really are transformative, Spencer. I mean, I tend to be very pragmatic and, hey, what's your angle? And we better, but my brother-in-law is a marriage and family therapist, Emil Harker. And one of the things that he has just constantly beat into my head over the last 10 years is you got to figure out how to assume good intent. Like, start out positive, like you talked about earlier, start out positive. So these happiness books, my dialogues with Emil on assuming good intent I know it's made my wife happier, excuse me, and family, and even the people that I work around. So if we're engaged and positive and thinking about and like a simple thing he'll say is, well, so something happens that's bad, well, just tell yourself a good story. And what does that sound like? And so I think, some of these concepts have been really helpful for me over the last few years, and think about them a lot. Right now I'm on a kick for with Wendy, and it's tied to this good intent, but kindness. I don't know where you sit on this, but sometimes, like, I come home and I'm the CEO and let's get things done. And kids don't need a CEO, they need a dad, and your wife certainly does not need a boss. And so I'm trying to transition and get that father and husband hat on. Yeah. So these are things that are on my mind lately.
It's true. These are the same things I think everyone deals with. Just learning that balance, learning that the roles that we take, and you can't be a CEO to your wife. That's for sure. That's just that doesn't work out good. So. And to your point of when bad things happen, one of the guys I follow a lot is Ed Milet, and he's made the comment. One of his things he says quite a bit, yeah, and he's got a great podcast and everything going on as well. But he says if something happens and it's not going to matter in 5 years, don't spend more than 5 minutes worrying about it.
Wow, there you go. That's a great nugget. I love that.
Yeah. So that's one thing. Like, just I think it was like a week ago, something happened, and the old me would have been just devastated the entire day and just ruined the entire day because of it. But you got to go through that process. Okay, this is what's happened. I've done everything I can to solve this problem. Now I got to let it go. I got to let it go. I got to go home. Got to be a dad. Got to be a father. So it's tough to learn, but it's rewarding when you do.
Putting a collar around it too, like, the 5-year thing. If it's not going to matter in 5 years, why does it matter at all? I really like that. I'm gonna plug that in.
There you go. Well, that's an Ed Milet plug there.
Thank you, Ed.
All right. What's one of the biggest myths business owners need to know the truth about?
I think as owners, in many cases, people say, well, look at him. He's got a nice car and he sits at the top and he doesn't have to get bossed around by anyone.
Except for your wife.
Now you're meddling there, Ed. That's Ed's problem.
We all know.
It's the truth for sure. What I found that many entrepreneurs share is that we're willing to take risks, and it may seem like a little thing, but I had a fun story. I had a friend that's like, hey, I'd love to be able to get into my own business, and we were colleagues at the time, and I had an opportunity to come up that was perfect. It was a little business that the partner wanted out. He wasn't getting along with his partner. It was growing like crazy. He was scared. He was losing sleep at night. And all you had to do was take on the debt and wrestle with a partner that was growing, but spent a little bit too much money. But these are, in my mind, I'm like, woohoo, let's go. I've already my gig on.
Yeah.
I present this to my friend. I'm like, hey, I got this perfect opportunity. It takes no capital. You're going to have to, probably mortgage take the debt on, which means, you've got some risk there. So I'll make the introduction. And a few weeks later, I walk into to him and say, hey, whatever happened with that gig? And he got quiet for a minute and he said, I really need to call that guy. And I'm like, wow, this teed up the perfect, how? And what I realized at that time, and I've reflected on it a lot, is, driving the truck, being at the top, it has its challenges, and not everyone is cut out for the risk. And in fact, many people are not. And so those of you that run your own business, it can be very lonely at the top. And the nights that we sweat about making payroll, or, in our early days, but those are things that just many of us are not equipped to deal with. And so I think if there were a myth, it would be, life can be tough, and the risk tolerance for CEOs, for entrepreneurs, needs to be quite high. And I don't know if that answered your question. It was a little bit squishy, but that's what I got.
No, it does. That's incredible, because I that's one thing that really drives me nuts when you have something like that happen. You tee something up for someone or someone that's close to you, and it'll let the time go by, and let it go stale. One of my last partners, and when I used to be in commercial real estate for years.
Okay.
He always said time kills deals.
Right.
And I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
You just can't rest and think that, that opportunity is going to be there in a little bit. I could call whenever I want. So no, that's a great answer. I really like that answer. So thank you.
Much of our growth has come through acquisition. Maybe, I don't know if it's 30 or 40% or something, but you make the comment, time kills all deals. When we have an opportunity, and if you're looking at acquisitions, it's something we're very passionate about and been doing it for a long time. Boy, you find out what the pace is of the potential seller, and then you match that and push it a little bit. But time kills all deals. And when you get somebody that's energized and ready to go, you just go pedal to the metal and get it figured out, because so many things change. Why does time kill all deals? It's just everything changes. It's so dynamic. You know, they get an inheritance, or they get a new partner, or they change their mind, or they get so many, or we might have the same kind of issues happen. We get a better deal and so on. And so time kills all deals. Keep them going.
I like that a lot. All right. Last but not least, what's one question I should have asked that I did not, and what's your answer to it?
Let's see. Maybe I could just talk a little bit about balance and what's most important in life. You know, in many ways, work is like oxygen. You know, you need it to survive, and it's very important. It's critical. If we don't have it, you know, really bad things happen. And while I love my job and I love the people that I work with, it's not the most important thing in my life. And we talk about this at our success at Ascend Staffing. I think I mentioned that, our new hire training. And for me, for example, my personal mission statement starts out: Wendy is the most important person in my life, my wife. Family comes first. My faith is very, very important to me, and I practice it and I live it. And so, you know, what are the things that are the most important to us? And then how do we keep those focused? So it's not about being the best CEO I can be. And I don't discount that. I mean, that's very important to me. I spend a lot of time and energy on it, but taking off that CEO hat and being the best father that I can, being the best husband I can, what are the things that are the most important? How do we keep those at the forefront and stay focused on that? And if we can do that, really, we're going to be quite successful at work as well, right? So yeah, balance, that would be the topic.
And I like that a lot. So many people have, you know, in our world, you know, entrepreneurs and business leaders, that's one of the hardest things to learn and to understand, is that balance. So that's a great answer. Well, I really do appreciate it coming on the show, Mark. I think our listeners have definitely learned a lot today, a lot to take in, and I wish you all the best in the future. But to those that are listening and thinking, man, you know, I've been looking at staffing companies. What's the best way to get a hold of one of your branches if they want to try to get in with you guys and start doing business with you?
Oh, that's very kind of you. And by the way, let me just say, it's been an honor. I've loved chatting with you this morning. It's been really fun. And so thank you for having me. So our website is ascendstaffing.com. It's as easy as that. You can plug into any of our branches there, and you can apply online if you're looking for work. And you can also give us a call at any of our offices. And so we'd love to put you to work or help you to get some people. Yeah. And so thank you for the ask.
Yeah, no problem. All right. Well, again, thank you. And to all those listening, again, like we said, stay away from those negative Nancy's, go out there, conquer your day, and have a fantastic week.
Congratulations on spending a couple of minutes getting a little bit smarter, having some fun, and supporting the Idaho business community. If you're feeling the love, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you are.